Alright guys, you're going to want to start off with the finest pork spare ribs that money can buy. Or in my case, whatever's on sale. We're going to use these today. We're going to take these St. Louis style pork spare ribs and turn them into bacon. Or, well, just treat them like bacon, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and cure these and put them in the fridge for a couple of days and then go ahead and smoke them like you normally would ribs. But hopefully they'll have a nice bacon flavor. At least I hope they will. Otherwise, if they don't and they taste terrible, you'll never see this video. So if you're watching it right now, something went right. At least I think so. So the first thing you're going to need to do to bacon up your ribs is basically make a cure for them. And that's usually a salt, sugar, and sodium nitrite mix. And what you're going to need is a little scale. And this is to make sure that you're making the cure as a percentage of the total weight of the meat. So if your ribs weigh 2 pounds, you're going to convert that to grams, and then you're going to make your cure based off a percentage of the weight of the meat. So by that I mean I'm going to use anywhere from 5 to 6% of the weight of the meat in brown sugar, anywhere from 1.5% to 1.8% in salt, and then for sodium nitrite I always use 0.25, so that's 0.25% of pink curing salt, and this is the one you don't want to mess with. So like this one, just keep this ratio at 0.25. You can mess with the sugar and the salt depending on your taste. And you can add other little spices in there. So I'm going to move the scale out of the way. Just going to add the salt. Add the pink curing salt. And you know the routine. Put a lid on it and shake the bejesus out of it. And there you go. That's your cure. So we're going to add that to the bacon now. Let me go find my bacon. Or actually they're ribs. They're not bacon. Alright guys, so we've got our ribs here, and I've gone ahead and put them into this nice little plastic bag so we don't get any weird pork juices all over the fridge. This is actually a vacuum seal bag, so I'm going to seal it up after I put the spices in here. So you don't have to do this, you can use a regular Ziploc bag, but as a person that's had pork juice kind of leak over my fridge, I'm not taking any chances. So we've got our cure mixture here, and what we're going to do is just add this to the bag. So try to get it on both sides as much as possible, but really you're going to leave this in the fridge for a couple days. Probably a bad angle here, but get a little bit on the front. And get a little on the back. And just try to kind of mix this around as best as possible. And you're going to want to kind of massage this in and, seal up the bag. So we're going to do that next. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and seal this up, and you don't have to do a full vacuum seal on it, but you can if you want. As I said, you can just use a Ziploc bag if you want to. Alright, so that's all sealed, and just for security, I'm always going to do a double seal. If you don't, I think you're just asking for trouble. So we're going to seal that one more time. And if you're using a Ziploc bag, I would suggest putting it in another container in the fridge, just so if you do have anything leak out, you don't get pork juice all over everything, like your yogurt, because that would be disgusting. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and put this in the fridge for probably 5 to 7 days, and then we'll take it out and smoke it. And hopefully everything will be good. So, see you in 5 or 7 days. Alright guys, so it's been about 5 or 6 days, depending on how you look at it, and our bacon ribs are pretty much ready to go. So as you can see, this package has a lot of liquid that wasn't in there before, and all of this is basically pork juices that have been drawn out by the salt and sugar mixture. So hopefully these ribs are nice and sweet and salty, and ready to go. This is just the number of grams for this particular rack. I always write them on the package just so I remember. And I'll show you guys something. This is why we double seal. See this little bit of pork juice right here? If I hadn't sealed that, that would have gotten into the fridge, which would have been gross. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take these out of the bag. I'm going to wash off all the excess salt and sugar mixture, and then we're going to season these up. I'm probably going to keep these really simple this time. Again, remember, this has salt and sugar already in it, so you want to be really careful with the amount of salt that you're using. I'm probably going to keep this real simple and just go with black pepper, maybe some garlic powder, and possibly something weird, like maybe a little bit of ginger powder, but who knows? You can do whatever you want. Just keep in mind that you already have a lot of salt and sugar in this mixture, so keep that in mind, unless you really like extremely salty or sweet ribs. Alright, let me go clean these up and get ready. Alright, it's about 100 degrees out here right now, so I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to spritz these down with a mixture of, what is this? This is bourbon, apple cider vinegar, a little bit of sugar, some water, and some hot sauce. So, you know, quick little mixture. These ribs are about at the 2-hour mark. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little spritz. There's some down below. Give those another little spritz. And we're not going to open this again for another hour, so we'll see you in about an hour. Alright guys, so it's been about 3 hours. We're going to go ahead and take these ribs off and put them into this little foil boat. So, as you can see, I've got them right there. Gonna give them a nice little spritz of this same basting liquid. Not gonna add any additional sugar because there's a lot of sugar in this already, and there's also sugar in the ribs from the brine. Okay, so give it a nice generous spritz, and then the one thing that we're going to add is this stuff, and what this is browned butter. There goes an idiot. Alright, so brown butter is basically just butter that you brown on the stove until it turns brown. I don't know how else to explain it. So we've got that. We're going to wrap this up real nicely. And then we're going to put it back on the smoker. So, alright, we'll see you in about 2 hours. Just going to go ahead and pull these off. You can see the bones pull back a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and put these back on the smoker for about an hour and let her dry out a little. Alright, so this is about an hour after. You can go ahead and add sauce if you want. I usually do. You don't have to though, but as you can see, these ribs look pretty good. I had a little accident right there when I was trying to move them in here. Fortunately that happens, but hopefully it won't affect the taste. In fact, I'm pretty sure it won't. I've gone ahead and taken the bacon ribs off the grill, and we're just letting them rest a little bit before cutting into them. So as you can see, the process isn't really that different from making normal ribs, except for the brining process, which does take a few days. Actually 5 to 7 days if you're counting. So really the ribs kind of taste like a mixture of ham, bacon, and then normal ribs. The good thing about it is the interior of the ribs are really seasoned, so they taste kind of like a little bit of ham and bacon mixed, which is good because sometimes, it's only the outside of the rib that's flavored with smoke, and the inside's just kind of, meat, I guess. So give these a shot if you want. They're actually pretty easy to do. They just take a little bit of foresight, and they come out just like normal ribs, so nothing really special aside from the brining process. So if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm going to keep trying to do random things like this. But I'm going to dig into these in a bit, and hopefully they taste good, which I know they do taste good. I've tried this before, so that's why I'm doing it again. Alright guys, you have a good one. Woohoo! That's a juicy looking rib. And that one's mine. As you can see, clean bite, doesn't fall off the bone like, if it's overcooked. And you can see all that little smoke in there from the bacon process. I don't know what to call that. That's really good. That is super good, actually. Alright guys, so I'm going to go try to figure out how to turn off my camera with these greasy fingers. Until next time, take it easy.